when you really started popping through, and it was clear you had every chance of making it as cricket. So you went to the UK and you played, I think, in the counties for Essex, and your first sort of stint there wasn't all that great. I think you got 14 wickets at an average of 60, which is really not good.
No.
And then soon after that, you were picked for South Africa, which was awesome. But then you went back to England to play, and then again in that sort of first outing, you only got 8 wickets at an average of 52 again, which in the context is not really that good. And the record would show that you bowled 8 no balls in 9 overs, which suggests someone who's really struggling with their rhythm or with their feet. So you didn't start really well, okay, and which is pretty normal. If you were to think, how was that for you starting out, hitting the big leagues in terms of county and then the South Africa, and then coming back from those, realising, well, I haven't really done very well. How was that for you?
It was like, for me, it was like just life. I wanted to learn about, I didn't want to learn, but I realized that going and playing county cricket I was learning about life more than it was cricket, really. Like, I needed to have better equipment. I wasn't, fully aware of the things that I required to perform at the highest level. And I remember getting to Essex, and they dropped me off at this house, and they're like, all right, here's your keys for your house. Here's the car that you're going to be driving, and good luck. And I was like, okay, how do I do my laundry? Who's going to cook for me? I didn't know all of this stuff. How am I going to get to the ground? There were, cell phones back then didn't have GPS and stuff like that. I had a landline in my house. And I just figure out how to survive, cricket was the least of my problems right there and then. So maybe that's a reflection of why my cricket wasn't doing too well, because most of the time I was just trying to figure out, what am I going to make for dinner tonight, let alone trying to get the batsman out. But it was like life learning things. And I felt like once I'd gotten some of my life stuff sorted, I figured out how to earn a salary and where I needed to put my money. This goes into that, this goes into this, rent, blah, 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 blah. Learned how to do my laundry and all of that kind of stuff. Then my cricket started to somehow just get better because my kit was now in place. I was wearing sunblock for the first time. It was just, I was growing up, and all of a sudden my cricket just went to the next level. And maybe I just kind of missed that in the early stages of my younger youth,
So you really were the young boy from a small town in Palabor. All of a sudden you've landed in this place and you had a whole lot of stuff to learn. Did you make your bed? Do you make your own bed?
I do. Look, I went to hostel, so there are things that I'm really good at. Like sweeping, cleaning, and I'm pedantic with things like that. I've got everything in order, but living in hostel, you don't cook. No one teaches you how to cook. You kind of given your 3 meals a day, and you get given your run order. You got to be at class at 7, and then this, that, and that, and that. But then after that kind of stuff, they kind of throw you to the world, and it's like, oh, you're your own boss now. You need to figure it out for yourself. We've given you the basics. Now you need to take it from there. But and I'm sure everybody struggles with that kind of stuff. But I found that once I figured out that quickly, then my cricket just got so much better, and I started hanging around guys like Polly and whoever it was. I can spit a million names out: Gerald Joyce, Darryl Cullinan, all of these guys, and I just watched the way they went about their business, and I just picked it up, little things, and asked questions. Why have you got this little bag? And it's like, oh, this bag's got all my spikes and my sunblock, and it's got this, and it's got all those little things and toe tape and everything. All right, cool. And I go and get that stuff, and all of a sudden I didn't feel rushed. I would walk onto the cricket field and I felt like, cool, I've got the good socks on, my toes are strapped. I wasn't struggling with, bloody toes and sore feet like other guys were, and like I was earlier. I had my shit in order, and it kept me on the field for longer, and I was able to just do better,
So it's interesting that you actually had arrived literally at the professional level, and there was some very basic stuff that you didn't have in place and hadn't figured out. And I guess that was that happened more 15, 20 years ago when cricket had just started sort of becoming professional. But it's interesting that as a professional, you're arriving at the highest level of the game and you haven't even figured out having the spare socks and the spare boots and a bag for, and you say even just learn to put sunblock on.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think what happens is that people often spot you as a talent, and then they see you, and then they just go, "Oh, this guy's got what?" Well, they think this guy's got what is required to perform at the highest level. So they grab you and they just pull you in. You're joining this party. Yeah, come with us. And this is the professional international party. Welcome. And you're like, and you just kind of skip a whole bunch of levels, you know, and like. Then you don't do very well, and then like, all right, well, you're not as good as we thought you were, and they kick you back out, you know, and then you got to go and do all those levels again. You got to kind of catch up, you know, and that's what happens with some guys when they're these serious talents, maybe AB de Villiers and you know whatnot. Some of them last, and they figure it out quickly. I needed a year or two, like to go and kind of do my apprenticeship, so to speak.